Welcome back everyone to another Weather at a Glance video. In today's video we are going to be talking about an upcoming spring pattern that I have been keeping an eye on. This includes portions of the northwestern United States that could be seeing lots of snowfall throughout the upcoming couple of weeks, well into April. And this includes parts of San Francisco, New Mexico, and all throughout portions of Colorado, Idaho, Montana, and even out into Wisconsin. So you definitely will want to keep an eye on this if you love snowfall and you definitely like to watch those snowfall totals pile up outside. You definitely are going to want to listen into this forecast because we will be giving you an insight on how much snowfall you could see over the next couple of weeks, as well as some severe weather potential down throughout portions of the southeast, where we do see a pattern starting to develop where you could start to see different severe weather events that are continuously happening in the same areas throughout this portion of the southeast. So you definitely will want to watch this video if you are living in these regions, because this will inform you about an upcoming pattern that you may want to keep an eye on throughout the upcoming couple of weeks. As you can see, we have so much to talk about in this video, all coming up in just a bit. Alright, and our first look on our first slide is on the 200 millibar height and wind forecast map by the GFS. And as you can see, this is showing us a look at our jet stream, which plays a very important part in our weather and our dynamics in the United States, as well as all around the world. As you can see, we do see a trend throughout the next couple of weeks. This is going into the beginning of April, and you can see that the jet stream does come in through central California, takes kind of an upward slope throughout areas of Nebraska and Kansas, and then kind of swoops down almost into a troughing motion throughout North Carolina and Virginia. Occasionally, we will have some different divots around New Mexico into Texas, which could cause some of those severe weather strengthening throughout the southeast with these strong bits of shear. This does help shape severe weather events when convective available potential energy is present. So you will want to keep a lookout throughout the next coming weeks with this jet stream, because it is taking a very interesting pattern. And as you can see, the most intense regions of this shear, this speed shear, is throughout portions of the southeast. As you can see, we do have consistent bits and rising of shear, which at times could be up to 145 knots, which is very intense wind speeds up at, this is probably about 40 to 50,000 feet up in the atmosphere, which when cloud tops reach those heights, it can help peak storm development. So this will be affecting your severe weather throughout the southeast, possibly even strengthening it, maybe causing us to see another high risk at some point during the spring, possibly. And as you can see, bits of that jet stream, that polar jet stream, do swoop up into Washington and carry those low pressure systems with that cold air, which will be causing more winter storms throughout these areas, and then carrying it back up into portions of Wisconsin, which could bring heavy snowfall totals to the amounts of this region all throughout up here, which could provide some definite snowfall totals for you guys up there. So if you are a snowfall lover, this is exactly what you want to see. This is going to bring very nice snowfall totals for you throughout the upcoming early spring weeks. And if you love snowfall, this is your spring. Alright, and next we're looking at our precipitation patterns. This is the GFS precipitation type rate forecast model. This shows you the type of precipitation and the rate at speeds of its falling. And as you can see, with that jet stream pattern, the low pressure systems that carry our precipitation do follow the patterns of the jet stream. As you can see, throughout the next week or so, we will have a pattern where parts of these low pressure systems are developing off into California, then carrying out down into Texas and swooping up through the North Carolina area, which could bring heavy rainfall totals to these areas. Again, like we talked about in yesterday's video, we could see some potential flooding throughout these areas down in the southeast. You will want to keep a lookout for that as well. About snowfall, people have been asking, will we see snowfall in the Northeast again? It does not seem so right now. there has been a pattern lately where we see this kind of whenever the low pressure systems do come through, warm air advects into the northeast, and this brings less potential for snowfall, even up into portions of Maine. So it's likely not. We will might likely see some snow showers at least some point throughout the rest of the spring, some snowfall, but maybe some flurries, but nothing like a major winter storm yet that we can see. Throughout portions of the Northwest, though, you will definitely see many, many winter storms. Likely not major at all, but you will see those snowfall totals coming into these areas as that jet stream carries these winter storms down through portions of the Northwest. Mainly, the really heavy winter storm areas, we'll outline this in pink. This region around here is definitely where you will see those heavy, heavy snowfall totals, as well as a small portion through Wisconsin and Minnesota, and possibly throughout Michigan, northern Michigan. So you will want to keep a lookout for that. Again, like I've been saying, if you are a snowfall lover, this is your type of spring where you will be able to see nice amounts of snowfall for these regions through the out the upcoming weeks. All right, now we're going to be looking at our first forecast model for the total snowfall totals, and this is the GFS forecast model, total snowfall. And first, as you can see, we are going to be taking a look at our northwest portion first. And right here throughout this portion, like I said, this is where you're going to be seeing a lot of those snowfall totals. You'll be seeing anywhere from 1 to 5 inches in those low-level parts of the ground. And as you get into those higher elevations, this is where things start to jump very sporadically. You could see up to 60 plus inches up in these mountain regions, which all of you who live up in these mountainous regions do know. You are already prepared for that. You already know the type of weather that you get up through these mountainous regions up in Idaho and parts of Montana. 40 to 60 inches is your range for the next couple of weeks. And throughout the southern portions of these mountainous regions, you can experience like around 16 to 20 inches, just general snowfall, but it is a very snowy pattern that is coming up. Now, moving on to our next region, which is Minnesota through Wisconsin, you can definitely see those snowy patterns. All the way down into Iowa, which is where you could see those 3 to 6 inches over the next couple of weeks, down in the parts of north central Iowa. And this is going to be very interesting for all you snow lovers, especially in these areas, because by this time, you are usually starting to experience those 40s and 50s throughout this time of year. So as you can see with that La Nina pattern, there is cold air that is being locked northward. So this is going to be providing a more snowy pattern for you guys, along with that jet stream pattern. And as we move on to our more interior Wisconsin areas in Minnesota, you are going to see that we have areas up to around 36 inches of snowfall over the next 3 weeks. This is going to be very interesting for you guys because we will have to monitor this, and this could bring some potential major winter storms or intense winter storms for these lake effect regions. But most of you are already prepared and ready for that. This is your cup of tea, and it'll be very interesting to say the least. As we move on to our European model, you can see it's generally saying the same thing as the GFS. A very snowy pattern throughout the northwestern United States. You can see those 3 to 6 inches generally throughout these portions, and those higher elevations, 40 to 60 inches, and throughout these mountainous regions, you guys are staying around 16 to 24 inches. So something that you guys will want to plan around. I'm sure you guys are most likely sick and tired of this snow, even if you are a snow lover. But the end is almost near to your winter, so no need to worry. You guys will start seeing those spring temperatures likely around late April to early May, and the end is near to your snowfall. Except for these mountainous regions, you guys obviously know that you continue to get those colder temperatures throughout the spring and summer months. But anywhere else generally around this region, you will start to see your warm temperatures move in around late April to early May. So if you are fed up with all of this snowfall, don't worry, it's not going to continue into your summer months. You will see the end here soon. Now moving into our portions of Minnesota through Wisconsin, and even down in Nebraska. The European model takes these snowfall totals down into Nebraska, which is believable with these cold temperatures moving down into those areas. As you can see, there are generally 3 to 6 inches like we have been talking about. Very interesting for you guys down in Nebraska who are ready for the spring. If you guys love snow, again, this is your cup of tea. Definitely a very interesting spring. You guys get to hold on to your winter as long all the way into April, late April, and maybe even to portions of May. So this is going to be a prolonged winter for you guys up there. And into Wisconsin, this will fade out likely sooner than later. The cold temperatures will still stick around likely into May, but this snowfall is going to be vigilant throughout the next couple of weeks. You guys are going to continuously see these snowfall totals. The European kind of takes these snowfall totals near the lake effect areas a little bit weaker than the GFS did. The European is more of a modest model when it comes to snowfall, and the GFS usually starts out pretty extreme and then kind of slims down as time goes. But you guys can see with your European model, you get generally 20 to possibly 24 inches along these lake areas. So something that you guys will want to watch out for throughout the upcoming weeks into your spring months. Now we're going to be taking a look at our convective available potential energy, our CAPE, by the GFS. And as you can see, this is going to affect our severe weather pattern. And as all of you people who live down in the southeast know, CAPE is very usual in your area throughout the spring. I'm sure all of you know about this, and it is used to being here, usually in those 2,000 to 3,000 occasionally, but generally 1,000 to 2,000 joules per kilogram. You guys usually see around that down in the southeast. But the difference is now you will be seeing a lot of convective available potential energy more often than just little spurts of convective available potential energy. Now you are going to see a constant area down in the southeast, generally throughout this area, kind of closing off southern Florida. And you will see those intense thunderstorms with that speed shear that we were talking about earlier. So throughout this area here, you are definitely going to have to keep an eye out for severe weather, because these areas could be seeing some nice severe weather events. Not so nice for those of you who do not like severe weather. Very upsetting whenever it does affect and derail some people's lives. It's not at all something pleasant. But if you generally like to see those thunderstorms and those towers, those beautiful towers that shoot up in the springtime, generally through Louisiana and throughout Mississippi and Alabama, that's where you're going to want to pay attention to this, because that convective available potential energy will be allowing for those beautiful cumulus clouds. Even without thunderstorms, you will still see beautiful cumulus clouds throughout your spring months, as well as severe weather throughout this region here, most prolonged severe weather right throughout here. And that is the region right throughout anywhere from Houston, Texas, all the way to Tallahassee, Florida. You're going to want to keep an eye out for severe weather this spring. It is going to be very interesting spring. We already saw high risk in March, so you're definitely going to want to keep an eye out for these upcoming months and weeks. So these next few weeks are going to be very interesting with severe weather. And as we move into late April, early May, that is where we're going to start to peak with our severe weather. And those months will be very tiring. There's going to be a lot to forecast. It's going to be rough for you guys down there, but all of us will keep an effort into keeping you safe and informed, and we'll try to do our best ability to explain these events to you guys so that you know how to be prepared and what to do in order to stay safe this spring. And now we're going to be looking at our bulk shear, which shows you these speed shear forecast. It's the GFS forecast model for speed shear, and this shows you all generally what the highest amounts of wind shear difference between around the 500 millibar range is. This forecast model shows you the storm development likelihood. Now, that is not what it means at all. So if you're listening in on this and you are a weather enthusiast, of course this does not mean storm probability. But in a way, it does for those of you who pay attention whenever there's convective available potential energy and good bulk shear around. That's more of the storm probabilities, as you can see throughout these southeastern areas. When we have that really good speed shear, that is going to provide for perfect storm development. And this, as you can see, with this sloping jet stream that's going to swoop down, and at times that speed shear is going to be very great in levels like this example right here into those yellows, which is around 110 knots in difference, and that is a great difference between the atmospheres. So this is something that you're going to want to keep a lookout for throughout these southeastern areas, and along the east coast you will see those good speed shear levels. Definitely something you're going to want to keep an eye out for. This is generally not something you're going to see on the news. They will not show this on news broadcasts because it is quite complicated, but the best I can do is just try to explain it to help you understand the factors that go into these severe weather events. This is one of them. This helps. Usually wind speeds peak around mid-level in the atmosphere whenever it's storing a severe weather event, possibly even in the upper levels of the atmosphere, but this will definitely help storm development throughout the upcoming weeks and well into April and May, so you're going to want to keep a lookout for this. We will show this more in our upcoming forecasts, but for right now, as you can see, you will see these troughs swoop down, forming these troughs and around these low pressure systems, which will have winds accelerating to equalize that pressure difference between the low and high pressures systems. So you're definitely going to want to keep a lookout for this. Storm development will be strengthening throughout the upcoming weeks, and we might see some more severe weather events that are strong to major events. So something you're going to want to keep a lookout for throughout the upcoming weeks. All right, again, everybody, I want to thank you for watching today's video. Big thanks to today's sources, Pivotal Weather, where all the forecast models on my channel come from. I really do appreciate how they allow all of us to utilize their forecast models for free. It is a very wonderful website, and it's in the description if you would love to go and check them out. I highly suggest that you do give them support. Definitely check out their forecast models. They have an array of forecast models out there in different forecasting tools. I highly suggest that you go check them out. I would also ask that you consider subscribing to the Weather at a Glance channel for more forecasts free of charge, and consider following the Weather at a Glance Facebook page for more inside information on the channel and personal forecasts for your area when you message me on my Facebook page. Again, thank you all for watching today's video, and I will see you in tomorrow's video.